Seems like Amazon Studios had a lot of these little independent flares up this year, and they're keeping me alive with all these new movies. Thank you, Amazon. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new movie review. Today I'm going to be discussing Chemical Hearts, which is about a high school transfer student who finds a new passion when she begins to work on the school's newspaper. This is directed by Richard Tan and it is also written by Richard Tan and Crystal Sutherland, and it stars the likes of Lili, Reinhart, and Austin Abrams. Now, first off, coming into this film, I knew nothing about it. I knew it was going to be a teen romance, and going into these, I try to keep an open mind because some can really surprise me, and some don't nonetheless. But the director for this did South Side by Me, which is a really good movie, and I was wondering how he was going to do with Chemical Hearts, and nonetheless I can say that this film is good. It's not great, but it's good. Going into this film, I can really mention that I think the cast is absolutely one of the big pros to this film. Austin Abrams is someone that I've been really looking at as an actor, and I think he does such a phenomenal job in this film, alongside Lili Reinhart, who both of them, they're these awkward teenagers, and awkward chemistry can sometimes work and sometimes it can't, but for some reason, they really bond together, and it reminded me of one of my friends' relationships, and I could, they were cute together, and I could see them being cute together, and I really liked the way that it took its elements of building upon their relationship. Even though that awkward vibe starting out could nonetheless kind of turn me off, it started getting a little bit better as the film progressed. It's those subtle, sweet moments that they continue to share throughout this, that this film kind of, in a sense, feels like poetry. And maybe that's just me that felt that, but it really did feel like a poem being read in such a subtle, genuine way that just felt relatable. And I think one of my absolute favorite things in Chemical Hearts was the way that it focused in on the past of our main characters, especially when it comes down to Lili Reinhart's character, Grace. Oh my god, the scars that her character has embraced in the past really affect the relationship now. And I think everyone has scars and bruises from past relationships, from past family things, from in general just our lives. And I think Chemical Hearts really does such a great job diving into that. And I think the director in here, Richard Tan, does such an excellent job nonetheless being able to portray that in this film. As it takes its time building upon each of those moments and learning about these characters, it's nonetheless again filtered through with that poetry element that I really felt from the start of this film. And then adding on as well the soundtrack for here. Some soundtracks can kind of get in the way, but I found this one to just be such a melody that added each and every scene in such a particular way that I absolutely loved. I will go as far to say this, that Chemical Hearts didn't win over my heart completely, and a lot of that actually goes to some of the dialogue. I found the screenplay to be a little bit weak, and actually the whole film to be a little bit too short as it's developing characters. Some elements do feel a little bit rushed, even though I appreciated some. Again, that chemistry did take a bit for me to finally lock into, and that awkward vibe might turn some people off very early on in the film. Then again, takes me back to the dialogue and the screenplay for this, which the screenplay is not bad, it's just fine. There are elements of when they're building up the relationship that, yes, I really liked in the way that it touches on in their past, but then there are elements that it's trying to touch on and I'm like, okay, this is very by the numbers, and the way that this film was already going about, I wish it would have taken a different avenue towards those. I think a longer runtime would have maybe even elevated those moments, because for only an hour and 33 minutes, it should have been longer in the way that it handles certain moments. Before I give you my final thoughts on Chemical Hearts, make sure to comment down below, guys. Let me know how excited you guys are for this film. Have you heard about it? Have you not? Let's discuss it, as well as hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on content like this over here on a daily basis, guys. Head on over to Sandwich on Films on how to see films early, and of course, there's a big thing into you and a big thing into my Patreon supporters, because without you, I wouldn't be able to do this. Chemical Hearts didn't win my heart over completely, but that doesn't mean this film is bad. This is a good movie that will win more people over than me, and might turn off some people because of the awkwardness in the beginning of the film that doesn't lock you in completely. Some of the elements building up the relationship isn't the strongest, but the strongest part about this film is the direction, the characters, and the performances. I loved how this film really focused in on the past of our characters. That is something that we really do not see a lot of in relationship stories, and in general, just teen romance movies. We don't see that a lot, but the way that they were able to weave it into this story felt like poetry to me, and I loved that for this film. I think Chemical Hearts is a strong fairing, and I think it's one that's going to latch some people on and win their hearts over. While it didn't win mine fully over, I still enjoyed it nonetheless. So with all that said, I'm going to give Chemical Hearts a C. Thank you guys again so much for clicking on this. You guys are seriously all the best. I hope you guys do get to check this one out. Again, Amazon Prime's been hooking us up with a lot of independent films, and I've been enjoying pretty much all of them. So I hope to hear from you guys soon on this one. And of course, until next time, please stay safe and please stay classy.